Hey, what is up guys? Guitar Rock here, welcome back to another Brave 9 video. Updates are in. It's been 24 hours, right? So there was a bit of bugs, I think. So if you tried to play the game somewhere around a couple of hours ago, then there was a new update that was sent out to patch everything. But yeah, Season Pass is here. We have the Reviving Phoenix package. We have everything. So let's talk about what is new. First things first, spell cards. Now I know everyone is very excited when it comes to the new spell cards, so we're gonna have a look at them individually. Alright, Reviving Phoenix. Is this card worth it for most people? Now the spell effect here, as you can see, before 12th turn starts, okay, so it only activates late into the game, which makes sense. You want to have your allies die first. Why would you want to go early, right? So as you can see, the activation target right here is warrior with earliest attack order among ally graves. Okay, so make the ally in grave status participate in the battle again, which is pretty cool. And then once you go further, 11, and then you can get at level 3 you will get to activate Magician as well. I know somebody was memeing about this. Oh, you can revive your Helga to make your Helga die again. It sounds like a stupid joke, right? But there might actually be a viable strat in that, right? Because Helga's buffs alongside with buff prohibition can be really annoying. So that means you're prolonging her buff prohibition, which can be insane, alright, if you think about it. So I'm not surprised if somebody will come up with a strat with that, like a legitimate strat, right? And then going into level 5, then now you have Defender as well, with the earliest attack order among allied graves. Now, is this going to be a consistent thing with Larkis? No, it doesn't work with Larkis because most of the time, in most Larkis forms, Larkis is the last one to die. And this will only revive the first ally that enters the grave status, right? So in most cases, Defender wise, it's gonna most likely revive your Grand or Kaelin in the current meta if you use either one of them. I think for most people, if you actually purchase this card, it's particularly just for the warrior, and it's a very good Gangne counter if you think about it. Gangne, what Gangne does, right, is Gangne always kills your warrior off first, right? And the thing is, if you look at this is at 8th turn, right? Gangne is 6th turn at max level. So let me grab Gangne to show you guys. So it's very annoying if you go to Guild Wars. A lot of people at 6th turn, they will try to delay their Magician, supporters, etc. And then boom, at 6th turn, bam, your first warrior is dead. But having this Reviving Phoenix, if you are willing to upgrade this all the way, that means you have 2 turn supporter, everything, and then you can basically revive your first ally warrior that die. So I do think that this is going to be a solution to most Guild Wars problem, because a lot of enemies in Guild Wars, they have Gangne. Most of them have it maxed out, either level 7 or etc. So it's going to be really annoying to deal with. So having this at max level is going to counter that in particular. So let's move on to the next one, Enlightening Amitta. So this one doesn't seem that strong in my opinion. So at 5th turn, alright, what it does is concentrates enemy attacks to the target with Amitta effect applied. Alright, and reduces every incoming damage to the target with Amitta effect applied. So minus 50% for 4 turns. So one ally magician with the latest order can be a little bit annoying. So you can apply this to Helga and force your Helga to die first. But in most cases, you don't really need to, because most people have the Chasing Falcon anyways. Now as you can see, if we were to upgrade this to level 3, then now you get the option to target warriors specifically. Now this could be an interesting one if you want to force enemy to hit your Seto or hit your Larkis. Right now we have Larkis, right, which is reworked. We're going to talk about that later. Or perhaps Jin as well. And then going into maybe level 5, now you have a Defender as well. I don't really see why you need this, because most defenders have Taunt. I would rather use Albion at that point. And then going into the further one, you can see what it does is at 3rd turn it starts. Now, some of you might be wondering, Amitta versus Chasing Falcon, which one will take priority? So if you apply this to your warrior, but enemy has a Chasing Falcon that activates and is going to hit your supporter, for example, the answer is Chasing Falcon has the priority. I think it's stated right here somewhere. I need to find it. Alright, it says right here, concentrate enemy attacks into single target. Amitta effect has higher application priority than Taunt effect, but concentrated fire effect has even higher application priority. So this is what you need to know, right? So even though this card has higher application priority than Taunt, but Concentrated Fire effect still has higher application priority than this card, so keep that in mind. So this card is like somewhere in the middle between Taunt and Concentrated Fire. And if you go into what is that? Chasing Falcon. Chasing Falcon has higher application priority than both Taunt and Concentrated Fire effects. So Chasing Falcon is still going to prioritize in hitting your allies or enemies etc. So in most cases, I'm gonna say if you guys have invested in Chasing Falcon like I told you before, then you don't have to worry. This card still takes priority. Emita doesn't like counter Chasing Falcon in particular, but it does counter Taunt though, so keep that in mind. And right now in the meta, I don't see how this card can be used to its full effect. You might be able to fit this card into some niche teams, but I think for most people, in most cases, I'm gonna say skip this card and either get Phoenix or Thundering Vulcan. Now this card is just insane. Entire enemy defenders at third turn, like wow, it's just a very good card even at level 1. I intend to get this card immediately once I've collected 2000 Stain Inks because it's just so usable even at skill level 1. Now if you go further up, boom, and then at level 3 you get to unlock 4 warriors. Stun entire lineup of enemy warriors, which is crazy. And once you go level 5, enemy magicians. Luckily, this doesn't stun enemy supporters. Supporters still get to move. Stunning magicians can be annoying. That means your magicians will not have a turn to charge up at all, because most magicians need 1 turn to charge up, right? So that means they are going to have delay and they can't attack until round 3, which is like super crazy. It's really useful going further. And once you go even further at level 6, this is at second turn, level 7, first turn. Like, can you imagine how annoying this is? I think this is going to be the card that most players are going to try to use in Guild Wars moving forward. In PvP, I don't really see this being viable because in PvP you are moving first, and by the time you move, you know, enemy chain into supporter and everything might have already ended because it's only 5 turns. Next up, Executing Iron Maiden. So this card is pretty alright. It's not like the best one. Makes the enemy unable to heal. Again, I've said this before, I feel like going Orochi route is going to be better because you deal fixed DOT, right? Making the enemy unable to heal. We don't have like a heal meta going on right now, at least with our current lineup. There is Grand that can heal, or Ledakrat that does heal, but that's about it. And in fact, enemies deploy in the upper lane, and then going further in lower lane, and at level 5 in middle lane. So I would advise skipping Iron Maiden and Amita for now. And if you guys are struggling with your warriors constantly dying, if you have Venaka team, I think this is going to be better. Reviving Phoenix is going to help you because it's going to revive your first warrior that dies. So that means you're not forced to like block with another stupid warrior or something. So that, or forced to use Galenia in any case, right? So in a lot of cases, this can be quite useful. But Thundering Vulcan is something that I think should take priority. It's more flexible, it's more universal, it's something that can be used everywhere. Alright, let's talk about Larkis for a little bit before we end the video, right? So Larkis is really interesting, so we're just going to talk about his skills at plus 15. Now if you have Larkis at plus 13 or plus 12, it seems like that's the stopping point, you don't really need to go further. So what he has now, he has this curse before he gets hit, and also it will nullify any enhancement nullifier skills. And this is what makes him really strong, right? So he has this reflective counter, where he counter attacks with his own attack. So keep that in mind. So ideally you want to give him assault runes, and then 1 death crest is added if the enemy dies during the additional damage duration time. And if you look at this, what the death crest does is it makes you immune to DOT, and if you get hit, it will consume the death crest upon receiving enemy's normal attack, and you receive Death Guard when consuming the Death Crest. The Death Guard is only 1 turn, so keep that in mind. Yeah, I do think that Larkis is gonna be really strong, really effective, and I kind of have hope for this game in the future, because if the fact that they are willing to buff Larkis, he's definitely, I wouldn't say he's like broken or anything, but he's definitely stronger than before. For sure, I think Jin is still going to be most people's favorite because Jin, number 1, he has a gender band costume, right? And number 2, most people have already poured their investment into Jin. So therefore, I don't see a point for you to purposely go and build Larkis, but if you already have him built at plus 12, plus 15, I think he's going to be really strong in most Venaka comps. So I'm gonna try to test him in the next coming days. So wait for the full like analysis review etc. And we're gonna see if he can actually stand up in the current meta. Alright guys, so that is going to be it for this video. Let me know if you guys are planning to get any of these spell cards and if you guys agree with what I said. And if you disagree, let me know in the comments below as well. I'll try to read all the comments. As always, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.